So yeah, guys, we, along with like 17 other people, it was like a group of 20, it was a really big group, went to Japan for 2 weeks. And the main purpose, mission trips can be different. Some are like construction based, some are like outreach based. This one was like a English camp and like a Bible camp for like kids. So it was like preschool to like oldest kid was probably like 14, 15 range.
Probably.
Yeah. So really young kids. Um, and yes, some of the people on the team taught them English. We did Bible stories with them. We did crafts with them and stuff. And so we're just going to talk about like kind of how the week went. We're going to talk about the spiritual impact. We're going to talk about the culture a little bit for anyone that's interested. And then we're going to take some questions at the end. So, and was this both of y'all's first mission trip?
It was mine at minimum.
It was mine.
So it was both of their first mission trip. So that's super cool. This was my seventh mission trip, and so I have a lot of different perspectives that like I saw this through the lens of. But I think it's interesting to hear like how y'all were experiencing this as like a first time thing too. So this would be cool. Um, Anything general y'all want to say about the trip before we get started? Like, how would you sum it up if you had to like give like one sentence, if that's possible?
I feel like I've been really bad at that for this trip.
If I had to summarize what most of the takeaways that I had were, would probably be the idea of being willing to get out of my comfort zone, take the hands off the wheel, and let God show me something new.
Yeah. I would think of it as probably the same thing, and also just learning to be still, every day. Yeah.
For me, I was telling Jalen this before everybody else got here, but I said the word impact, I feel like sums it up the best for me because all the time we say like you'll sow seeds and sometimes you don't get to see like the fruit of it or like who else will water it, who else will harvest and whatnot. But out of all the trips I've been on, this one had the most like immediate, like you could see, oh, this is starting to move, or oh, that's gonna be something after we leave, or this person was like obviously impacted already. So I thought that was really cool. Once again, not like a necessary part of it because God's gonna do what God's gonna do regardless if you get to know about it or not. But I thought that was really cool to just get to see. Okay, I immediately am seeing like large scale effects from like what happened here. So that's really cool. So I would say that was unique about this trip to me.
If I could add something.
Please.
Also, the impact was literally, insane. It just would ripple and ripple and ripple. It felt like it was never going to end. It was insane. It just started and just was going on and on and on. And you could just tell that it was just going to continue to grow even after we left.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of try my best to go in order of things. And then, you guys just hop in whenever it makes sense with, what Noah's got prepared. And, yeah. So, I got this book in front of me, What on Earth is God Doing by Randy Young. And Randy Young is someone that was, a mentor to Ian and to Ruth, who they led this trip. Some of you guys know them. And so he wrote this book. It's a devotional, and they had us reading it leading up to the trip. Full transparency, I read most of it on the plane on the way there.
You did.
But I got it done though. So it was a really good read actually. And the first thing that I want to say is based on a quote that was in this book, which is, and there was a lot of banger quotes in this book.
So many.
If y'all have any, please. But the
So
one that I want to start with is, why should anyone get to hear the gospel twice when there are still people who have never heard it once?
That was literally the one I was thinking of.
That was a crazy bar because here, I literally drive past 3 churches to get here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in other places in the world. There is not as much access to the Jesus we so often take for granted, right? There is not Bibles just laying around. There's people that have never heard the name of Jesus. Like many,
Like,
many, many,
never.
many. And, obviously, the Great Commission, Jesus sent us to go do something about that. Um, and we have a responsibility to, right? Because if Jesus is the way, the truth, the life, and there's people in the world that haven't heard about him, they can't have access to a relationship with him. So how do you remedy that? People that know Jesus talk about Jesus. They go. They have a relationship with people. They get to know people. They do something about it. And that's literally the only way that it will happen. Uh, and I feel like on our day to day, we just don't really think about that, right? I feel like a lot of times in Christianity, we put too much focus on as if the ultimate goal is I got to try to be a good person the most that I can, right? I got to read my Bible, I got to pray and be consistent in that so that my life goes well and so that I can, have Jesus' stamp of approval. But it's not supposed to end there, right? We're supposed to do something with that, right? We're reading the Bible, we're praying, we're having a relationship with Christ so that we're being formed into his image so we can be more like him. And he did not come here just to be a good person and show up to church every Sunday. We always say we want to look more like Christ, but what did Christ spend most of his time doing in his ministry? Going, helping, speaking, preaching about the kingdom of God, right? So that has to become a more common goal of ours as believers. It has to be on the forefront of our mind more so than it typically is.
I think the book would often describe that as having sort of a missional mindset. Like, it's not necessarily about everybody being called to go overseas and do what missionaries are doing, but there is an aspect of having that at the forefront of your mind in all the things that you do, everywhere you go, trying to have that exact thing you're talking about be your goal in your day to day. Beating past the mundane 9 to 5 energy and actually having that present.
One of the notes that I wrote in the devotional was I feel like once again as Christians I feel like we categorize ourselves like those people are missionaries. Those are the people that go on mission and travel and stuff. Or that person's a pastor. Like they're the people that help people with their spiritual walk. Or we make these Christian categories and whatnot, but each of us is supposed to have those different pieces as far as how our heart is for other people or the things of God, right? Like just because you maybe aren't specifically called to go live overseas doesn't mean that we're not supposed to have the missional mindset, right? So caring for people that don't have a relationship with Jesus is important no matter what you're going to end up doing in this life. Like if you're a believer and you're a doctor, you should have a missional mindset in that space. If you are a believer and you're a pastor, you should have a missional mindset, right? Like these things are not exclusive to quote unquote those people, right? It's all of us. If you're in Christ, this is what that looks like. So yeah, the book. Yeah, the
I'm
book got me.
still reading it even after the trip. It's so good.
Mhm.
It just gets better
Yeah,
the more you read it.
yeah, for sure. So that was kind of before the trip. Technically, not for me. Like I said, I read it on the trip. But
It was for me.
It was for me.
oh, shout out to you.
You're the odd one out, okay? Imagine not doing your homework.
Hey,
Sorry to
man.
put you on blast like
Did
that.
you ever
but
do any summer readings in high school?
No, this is just how I've always been.
I've actually never done summer readings.
Such as to say you've never had one assigned to you, or you've never done
I
the
never
reading?
did it. Yeah. No, yeah. No,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
I'm telling y'all something. I'm honest too. But as far as the trip itself, there was a prelude before it actually got jumping.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the only one that I've heard speak about it the way that I view it.
No,
But I
'cause
feel like
I feel the
it
exact same
needs
way as
it
you
needs
do.
to it needs some time to be talked about. And what I'm alluding to is we missed our flight the first day, and so we had to spend like 24 hours in Newark, New Jersey. That was unplanned. 'Cause what was it? We were supposed to get on the plane, and then the connecting flight. It was supposed to be like an hour after we landed, and
It
then
was
it got
like
delayed to the point where there was nothing else we could do about it but wait a full day.
Yeah, Newark's
was-
weather was atrocious, and we literally, I remember somebody said we arrived only 30 minutes after the plane took off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we stared at our luggage for like
Oh yeah,
hours.
in the pigeon.
and the pigeon.
Yeah. So
Uh,
so we didn't understand what the process was supposed to look like after that happened. So we were like kind of it's like okay, this wasn't planned for. We have to figure things out. We got to get a hotel. We got to get transportation to the hotel. We got to figure out what we're gonna do about food for the next like 24 hours. All this stuff. But and also we didn't know like whether or not we had to get our bags. So we went to baggage claim and sat there for like it had to be several hours. It was
it
least
couldn't
two,
have
surely.
been 1 hour.
It was 2 or 3 hours.
We were there for eons.
We were sitting there,
And we
and
didn't even get our bags.
we ended up finding out that the airline was like, no, we're just gonna leave them here, and like just come back the next day. They're already gonna be on the plane. So we sat there all that time for no reason.
Which is funny because like normally I would hear that and go, "Oh, that's so nice of them. How convenient. I don't have to like recheck my bag. Very good." All of my toiletries were in there. I was
Yeah,
rancid,
yeah,
my
yeah.
guys.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Yeah,
Dude. Literally same.
folks was borrowing
The
toothpaste.
yes,
all
literally
types
was using like
Getting deodorant
Abby's
from
like
the lady at the front desk at the hotel.
was using Abby's like miniature toothbrush floss thingies. I don't even know what they were.
Yeah.
Went to bed with the same clothes on, like
The clothes, yeah. If you didn't put clothes in your carry-on,
Right.
you were just wearing that. And then the flight the next day was like 16, 17
yeah.
hours.
So you're
it's like,
still in the
whatever
same
you're
clothes.
wearing, you're wearing it for like 48 hours.
Plus when we land, of course, don't forget that.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we still had to travel once we landed,
Yeah.
right, to get to where
God
we
bless
were
whoever had to sit next to me.
Oh my word! Tragic.
going. Yeah, it was a lot.
A
And
lot.
and once again, in the midst of that, I was talking to Dre and I said what I'm about to say, which is, I feel like that needed to happen, right? Another line that's in the book. Oh, okay, I gotta find it. I'm gonna do a disservice if I don't read it.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, y'all.
But there are like, I feel like there were like more than one quote in the book just
That we're coming
that
to
were
life.
that were coming to life with this particular like situation. Like any situation that was just a halt is just always going to be an opportunity used. Like how how just like involuntary like situations like this can be, and it just opens up the opportunity for either the Lord to speak to us individually, for the Lord to speak to someone like through someone else, or just for like the Lord to like get his glory, like. But yeah, go ahead.
So the book, this is talking about missions in previous generations, right? So I'm just gonna read exactly what I got it like bracketed off. It says, when John Calvert was leading a group to the island of Fiji, so this guy was leading a mission. Yeah, he was leading a mission trip, and it says he was challenged by a frustrated captain on their ship. Why are you doing this? Don't you know they will kill you? And if they don't, the diseases will. So just a bunch of like, why would you be going? Why would you be doing this? Don't you understand all the ways this could go wrong? And it says his response challenges me to this day. Respectfully, sir, we died before we came here. Like most of the first wave teams, they packed their belongings in coffins and upon their arrival gave thanks and then burned their boats to show their resolve to reach the lost. No turning back. So that quote, respectfully, we died before we came here, came into play in this situation because it's about understanding the mission. It's about being all in. It's about having your reservations and pushing them to the side. And the Bible even talks about the concept of dying to self and sacrificing like your wants and preferences and whatnot for the call. And so, just something as small as the inconvenience of missing a flight, I was sitting there thinking, this is God like putting a little buffer, a little barrier to entry right now. Like, hey, how's your patience now that you gotta sit here for a day and watch the luggage go by for 3 hours for no reason? Hey, are you guys getting frustrated with each other already before we even get in the field? Like, how are you doing? How's your spirit? How are your fruit? Like, just a little test. Like, if any of us didn't die to self in preparation to go on the trip, he was putting a little something there to be like, let me make sure, like, where you're at. Let y'all show each other where you're at. Start praying together. Like, you got another day to kind of get where you need to be before we get
spiritual
this going.
TSA.
Spiritual
literally,
TSA. No, really.
Because even for me, like, the room that I was in, I don't want to say names, but like the room that I was in, it was me and another girl, but like she was like with her partner a lot of the time. So it was just like I wasn't in the right headspace at all. I feel like the beginning of the trip was very emotional and very taxing for me. And so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have strong connections with everyone on this trip. Um, and I was very nervous because I felt like I would probably deal with loneliness on this trip. But it was very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And so I think it was after dinner, it was like some of the girls were like, you should like come to our room and like we could talk, or like if you just want to play the Switch and like just like get through this night together, like you can come. So I went back to my room, cried a little bit more. It was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the girls' room. And so I went, and it was like I realized how important this buffer day was, and I was just able to get a lot off my mind, and I was able to just like laugh for a second, or just like it was just like literally the biggest door that like opened for this trip of like, okay, I have a safe space that I didn't even realize I had before, and that like really helped me, and just like where the Lord like saw me in that moment. Yeah.
Changed everything.
It really did. It really did. I'm so glad that it happened. Mind you, there's like a earthquake happening in Japan.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. The day that we were supposed to have landed, there was an earthquake over
There's
there.
an earthquake
So
in
there's
Japan
that.
and like thunderstorms in New Jersey. So like we were we were not going.
God was like,
No.
one more day. Yeah.
I was surprised when I was going around how many people I knew who were kind of surprised to see me back because they heard about the earthquakes and thought I died. I'm so serious. Like they were like, "Are you okay?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "The flight got delayed."
We weren't there. Yeah.
I
That's
was
how that
not there
works.
yet. And it's like not even nowhere close to Scuba. Like it's literally the bottom part of Japan.
Did they ever say if they were actually impacted by the earthquake at all? I remember them saying it was
Not
far
that.
away, but I don't remember if they said specifically, like, did you guys even feel it?
I don't think they did.
It was
Yeah.
too far from them, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, the people we were staying with, so yeah, they were safe and everything. But yeah, God was giving us something we didn't know we needed. We like mostly did not want at the time, but he's
hopeful.
wiser than we are. So
I remember, I don't remember who I said it to, but I remember saying it like, when we were hearing about the earthquake, not immediately knowing if it was relevant to where we were going, I remember sort of musing the idea like, are we kind of prepared for the idea that there's like a non-zero chance that this trip is going to change from being like, you know, vacation Bible school into disaster relief? Like, are we prepared to like try to put our hands and feet to the plow and help out with that? And I think that kind of started to frame my mind around the idea of like, I'm kind of ready for God to just like disrupt whatever we're going to do if it calls for it. If that's what's needed, sure, cool. I have no expectations anymore.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I was just like, okay, whatever you need to do, Lord, like I'm here.
I'm certainly not going home.
Right, exactly.
We're already here.
I've only one direction to go in.
No, yeah, that's the beauty of it. Like that is the missions mindset: is abandon your expectations, be all in. Here we go. And like I said, I literally feel like all the disruption that God implemented that day was to make sure if any of us weren't there, like now you got 24 extra hours, get there, because here we go. So yeah, I feel like that was perfect. Uh, and then we got the trip itself. We actually that next day we got on the plane, 16 hours, and then we were in Japan. Um, I don't know if you wanted me to say this or not, but I'm here. It was this brother's like first real time on a plane too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's not where I thought you were taking that.
No, I'm not. No,
I didn't even know what he was
I'm
going
not
to
about to go crazy. But no, yeah, how was that?
Oh, that was awful. Why do you people do this? Everyone that commented on that said it was like some of the roughest takeoff and landings they've ever experienced.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an awful flight too.
All right,
Yes.
cool.
Oh my word.
God put me through the worst possible thing besides dying in this case, so I'm ready for anything. Sick.
Yeah,
No, literally.
We're in it.
Oh.
you got a little extra dose of that Newark for you specifically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the things that I've been thinking about, both from like the middle of the trip on and here now still, is reflecting on the ways that like God has had to like mold me into the kind of person that's willing to say yes to this sort of thing. And as funny as it is, one of the things that came up was thinking like, dog, I hate roller coasters. I actually still do.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what is it? The Iron Dragon at Cedar Point? That's like the best I can do, brother. And I'm still like, I'm locked up. I'm not moving. Help. So like, that was kind of awful. Coming back, it wasn't as bad because I was like mentally prepared for it. But like, that first one, like, I think Jonathan was holding my hand. I'm so serious. Like, that's not me trying to be funny. I think he actually, like, reached over and was like, it's okay, dude. I'm like, you're making it worse.
You're making it worse. Oh, wait, but I was like sitting next to you and Johnny. I remember just being knocked. I was just.
You being asleep, low-key, that's, like, insulting. I did not sleep the entire flight.
Oh yeah, this brother didn't sleep for like a full day.
I think I watched one movie when I finally got the will to, like, calm down.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, we're landing soon.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
The reason I wanted to bring that up though is because like you really went through what we're talking about. Like I'm sure you would have preferred not to have to go through that, but and a lot of people, I know people that have had opportunities to go on mission trips and literally were like, I'm afraid to fly, so I'm just not gonna go. And then to this day, like that was the case for one of my classmates on my first mission trip, which was in 2017. So almost a decade ago. And to this day, I will talk to him, and he's like, bro, I'm still just, I can't believe I didn't go. I really should. I wish I had went. And it's like, yeah, you low-key, I mean, he should. I'm not gonna lie. Like the small things that can get in the way of going are not gonna be worth it, like long term, right? And I say all of that and bring up the plane thing. I say all of that to say this. I want to challenge everybody in the room. If you have never been on a short-term missions trip, go.
Please.
Like, I'm gonna make it even more direct. Within the next 4 years, if you can.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically.
there's a lot of opportunities here all the time. Like, the opportunities exist. You should go. Like, I'm not saying, like, you should be a missionary and, like, right now decide to dedicate your life and you're going to go live over there for 5 years. I'm not saying any of that. I don't know where to. I don't know for how long. But I feel like every believer should go on a short-term mission trip because, one, everything that I'm saying about the Great Commission, like, people need to know the Lord and they don't and they won't unless we tell them. but also for how it's going to affect you.
Mm-hmm.
Like the development, the growth, the perspective that you just can't get in your
Yes.
normal bubble. Like all of that, all of the blessing that's tied up in just giving 1 or 2 weeks or however long is worth it. And I think all of us should do it. So I'm gonna repeat that again at the end because that's really my main point behind all of this. Is if you don't take anything else away, like it's not just about let me tell you guys how cool the trip was and stuff. Like sure, but we are called. We should go.
Mm-hmm.
That is really the whole point behind all of this. So. So any thoughts before I actually tell them about like the day to day once we got there?
I think just the biggest thing is the perspective. Like it just takes everything that you thought and it's just like thrown in the trash. I mean, like there are some parts of it where it's like, oh yeah, I expected that, but he just shows you a totally different idea. Like you may see Japan on social media as one way, but like my view of Japan is completely different than what I thought Japan like was.
What did you think it was?
I mean, it's just like, oh, the cherry blossoms, Mount Fuji, Osaka is like
I've seen
super
none of that.
expensive.
Just the social media distilled version.
Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, girls in kimonos and like Persona and all your favorite video games. But like, I like went and I saw a depressed island, like to be honest. Like, I just saw a very like masked society. Like, yeah, and I'm sure we'll probably get into it later, but that's basically what I saw. I mean, there's beauty in like, there's beauty there too. Like, I feel like also just the way that their culture is, I feel like I could resonate with their indirectness. I could resonate with just the shame and honor, like, idea of their culture and keeping harmony, keeping peace, no matter what. Like, those are some of the ways that like that was my upbringing a little bit, but like seeing that in the perspective of like that's not how Jesus wants us to live. It's like, oh wait, there's like a whole society that lives this way.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like that's not to, and I'm sure Julia's not saying this, but that's not to like shame their
Not at all.
society or
Like,
their culture.
yeah.
But like, I think a way to think of it is we got to see that the effects of Jesuslessness is the same universally, right? Where here there are people without Christ, and so that leaves obvious gaps in the soul. It's the same in other places, as well as where there is faith. You can see the same thing. You can see the same passion, the same heart from the believers that were over there, right? So it becomes more real when you're there, right? It can't just remain the poster or the Instagram pictures or the the nature, and like it can't just stay that. It becomes real. Oh, there's lives being lived over here at scale without the Lord, and it's cold and it's lonely. Once again, the same as right here in your neighborhood, but it helps with the urgency and just really being aware of it, if that makes sense.
I think, not to get too far down this rabbit hole about it, but like, I remember a while ago I saw a very ignorant person on social media saying that as an atheist they have good morals, so therefore there's no need for belief, failing to recognize that by being raised in the United States of America, they are kind of defaultly coded with a basic version of Christianity's morals. And to that end, it's kind of like recognizing that if you go to other countries that aren't built on those principles, then that must be a very sad existence, because even at the core of it, it's not built on the same thing. And Japan has a very good way of seeming very similar, and they're very good at the sort of conservative and respectful culture, but without God at the center, it's just a facade. It's very depressing when you dive into it.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to say depressing, but it really is sad because they're so sweet. Like, the people there are so sweet. They're very genuine with their time, very considerate and respectful, but it's like, there's so much more. Yeah.
If Japan were to turn around to become a strong, like, Christian nation, they probably would be a veritable force because of how dedicated they are
Yeah,
to
the most definitely.
their kindness and their work.
Yeah.
Can y'all speak to that a little bit? Like, just describing the culture, like the clean, the quiet, the shame. I think the shame piece is a really important part of our conversation before we start talking about what evangelizing looks like. Can y'all speak to that at all?
So, they one of the things that we were distilled during our sort of cultural awareness meetings at the very beginning, which I guess is kind of skipping ahead, but I digress.
No, that's perfect.
Is the idea that over here we have a sort of guilt system, and over there they have a shame system, and there is a distinction between the two of them. In that, over here it's very like simple because we're all used to it. It's like, okay, if you're guilty of something and they find that you're guilty, you should feel bad. If you're guilty of something and they don't find you guilty, whether in the eyes of man or the court, you should still feel bad about it because you did a bad thing. You shouldn't do that. And if you didn't do something wrong and they find you guilty, or if you aren't found guilty, you shouldn't feel bad. Like, it is what it is. But over there, they basically say, like, even if you didn't do the thing, whatever bad thing it is in the eyes of your fellow neighbor or in the court of law, and they find you guilty, you should feel bad about it because they think that of you. And that's the key distinction between the two of them, is that they are so concerned about what other people think of them, whether it's their neighbor, whether it's court officials or the police. Like, it's got to be stressful.
Yeah.
Which I guess I can kind of relate to that because I'm so desperately concerned what other people think of me, but it's not like ingrained into me culturally. I'm just very stressed.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing too, like, everything she was saying about their culture, I was like, bro, is this like me?
Am I
like,
Japanese?
no, literally, like,
Am I from
not that
here?
I'm Japanese, but it was just kind of like, it was like the Lord was just like showing me things in me that I have to work on. I was like, oh, snap.
1,000%.
And I think to that point, like, because they're very much a shame and honor system, it's really hard for them to see sin, or they just don't see sin at all.
Real quick, I was gonna say, I want to offer the flip side because of what you said. When you didn't do something, but they think you did it, you should feel bad about it. That's the way they think. That's what Noah said. But the opposite is if you do something bad, as long as no one knows about it, it's fine.
It's fine.
They're like, there's no
Yeah.
shame because people aren't shaming me.
Mm-mm.
So this is okay. But if people know about it and you're publicly shamed and people think bad about you, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
If that's not happening, it's fine.
It's fine.
Culturally, that's the mindset, generally.
So as a result, when discussing the idea of how do you preach the gospel to the Japanese people, trying to suggest the concept of sin is quite challenging because oftentimes our sin is hidden away from others. It doesn't impact others in many ways. So, like, for them, they're just kind of like,
I don't even have it. What do you mean?
what's the problem?
Right.
It's like, oh, I did something wrong. Would you, that's not there. But it's like, no, Jesus knows everything you did.
Yes.
And I think kind of like to the, like, if no one knows about it, I think that's something else that they talked about is the harmony part. Is that, yes, like, you try to keep harmony and peace within your family, but it also goes as far as, like, the place that you live in. Like, if you say that you are a believer or trying to believe in Jesus in your community, you can be kicked out. You can be kicked out of school. You can be kicked out of friendships. You can be kicked out of your job. You can lose a lot of things or everything because of your decision to like follow Jesus, like in Japan. And just the way that we had to even like share or talk about Jesus or confront kids or to communicate to kids, it's like you have to do it within the group. You have to do it within, you have to communicate to all of them, like they're without bringing up one specific person or
Isolating somebody.
yeah, like you can't isolate them, or if you do, it's just like you bring them to the side. But it's very much I think it really showed me like we are like the body of Christ. We're not like, Jesus isn't a self-help God, and I think I really like the way that they do things in that way, but the like flip side of it where it's like you keep everything from everyone, that's like the kicker.
One of the things I remember on the Sunday, like the last Sunday when Chris was giving his sermon, I took it to heart the idea that he was specifically doing a sermon about Jesus turning water into wine. And he put a high emphasis on the idea that specifically all that was really wrong with the, like it wasn't a life or death circumstance that caused Jesus to turn the water into wine. All that really was at risk was shame on the party hosts. And I heard that after all the inundating about shame versus guilty system, I was like, I see the vision. I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
Good one.
That was a great one
Yes.
to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to really drive the point home about this whole concept of like shame and honor and how important it is to them, I wanted to talk about the whole school system and like
Yeah.
the reactions and stuff. So essentially, school and like traditional education is very important there. And what they told us was not everyone gets into high school. You have to test into high school, and similar for college, you had to test into college, and testing into college is actually harder than college itself. And it was pretty much, if you get into college, you're going to graduate. Like, it's not hard, it's just the getting in part is hard. So, getting in for high school and college are difficult. Not everyone does it. And we were told that it's such a big deal, right, having your education over there, that around the time of year when like grades come back and you find out whether or not you got in, there's a spike in suicides because if kids don't get in, they'll feel this enormous shame and be like, I've got no other option, essentially. So just wanted to mention that to drive home, like this concept of shame versus honor is so big for them. So once again, when we're bringing it into a gospel context, it's really it's impossible to not take that into account. So once again, meeting people where they're at and like adapting to their needs, like what do they need to understand to be able to know that they can trust the Lord, is very important. So you can't just have your American mindset and be like, oh, why do you care so much about this? Like view it this way, like the goal is not to Americanize other cultures. We are representing the kingdom of heaven, not the United States, right? We're not the American saviors over there to change their culture and make it more like ours.
Yeah.
That is not what it is about at all. It's about Jesus. The end.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
There was a story in the book
Yeah.
we're reading.
So
Are
good.
you guys thinking about that too? The one about the guy named Diego?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally have that in my notes because it's key to me. So in the book, he's what is the guy's name? Randy.
Randy, yeah.
He's telling a story about a guy named Diego who was living near Panama and was talking about the experience of what he had to say after they had brought the gospel to their village. And some of the quotes specifically were that, thank you for telling my village about Jesus. My grandfather died never hearing his name. My father sought for truth his whole life, but he too never heard his name. But because of you, my little girls are going to know the Lord. Later on in that same chapter, he says, in a day when many anthropologists and governments are calling for the removal of missionaries from indigenous tribes so their cultures will not be destroyed, Diego has a word the world needs to hear. Before we were blind, our minds were closed. The gospel is not changing our culture, just the bad things. That segment really spoke to me because it's like there are things to celebrate about the other cultures around the world, and we should never be going in with the mindset of like we're just gonna like colonize
You're all
people.
bad.
That's not what it's about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're bad. We're good. We're here to fix it. That is not at all what it is. If you have that mindset, then there's a problem with you, and
Yeah.
you need to be worked on.
Yeah.
We were even cautioned against how we present the information, I think, either to the people that we were witnessing to over there or when we come back and talk about this by
Yeah.
not doing too much in the way of like comparing this is better, this is bad. Like, oh, the bidets over there are fantastic. Our toilets suck. Like, none of that. Not doing that.
Yeah. I think, like, also, too, with that being said, I think, like, a lot of the people that I've, like, told this mission trip experience to, they almost immediately have the expectation of, like, how was the food? Was the food, like, 10 times better than us? Or, like, how was the, like, was it extremely clean? Or, like, and this, that, and the other. And it's just, like, the immediate, like, it just showed me, too, like, there was no, I guess, the heart posture of, like, that I went on a mission trip to express, like, Jesus to other people was not at the forefront. It was like, oh, you were in a different country, and my idea of Japan, like, did you experience that for yourself?
Yeah,
And it's like,
culturally, who's better and who's worse?
right,
Tell us.
right, exactly. And it's like,
That's
no.
a pro tip regarding the food. Kintaro, the sushi is comparable. Okay, like the sushi over there, I tried Kintaro, it's about the same. So if you want Japanese sushi that's actually good, not sponsored, go over there. Anyway, continue.
This felt like a sponsorship.
This
Oh my
felt
God.
that literally.
Where's the money in my pocket? I sure would like to be.
Yeah, the promo code.
The promo. The promo.
No, it's 26 for your free.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for real. But yeah, it just kind of like, I mean, like, initially I would be like, oh, wait, but there's so much good that happened on this trip. Like, you don't want to know about all the little kids that, like, got to hear about Jesus and all the other, and then I explained, and it's like, well, you know, there's this, and yes, there was that, but, you know.
So you want to get into the actual
Yeah.
day-to-day?
Meat and potatoes.
So, I'll just skip to, like, the week. Because, like, the first couple days, it was, like, the weekend. It was, like,
Yeah.
And
preparing.
being jet lagged.
Being jet lagged.
Going to the mall.
Prep. Just buying
More jet
stuff.
lag.
Hanging out a little bit. It was a little more casual. But Sunday to Sunday was really when things happened, right? So both Sundays we attended their church service and fellowshipped after and everything. But then the Monday through Friday in between is where we did the main thing, which was the kids camp. So I have the schedule for the kids camp right here that we ended up using. So essentially we all have different roles. We were like team leaders for like groups of kids. Some people were in charge of the craft. Some people were in charge of the games and stuff. So we're all doing different things. There was a total of 86 kids, so it was a good amount of kids. But yeah, this was our day to day right here. Was it this one?
It was the first one.
Oh yeah, because the less than 80. Yeah. So 8:15. Well, actually, let me start before that. We had to be in the worship center at like what, or the sanctuary like seven,
Like
seven something.
And then we had to do
Something like that.
devos before that. So, like,
Yeah. So we were getting up early, like Julia said. Like the sun rises at like 4 a.m.
so we're already up
We were
by
up.
5.
Yeah, we were up. We had to be in there by 7 something, but it started at like 8:15 is like the time.
Yeah.
Like kids are showing up at 8. We're getting like started at 8:15, so we're like getting folks excited for what the day is about to be and whatnot. We're doing worship songs, And once again, it's kids, so like it's worship songs that you can like do dance moves to. So we're doing the dance moves, looking all goofy and
Very,
stuff.
very BGMC.
Yeah. The kids loved it though.
It's like
and they were,
starting in my head.
and it was actually working, is my thing.
I know.
Like
So good.
they were getting it. Like we're singing about God, and they're hearing these lyrics and they're sticking with them. Like by the end of the week, I would just hear them just walking around
Yes.
singing the song. I'm like, oh,
So
okay,
good.
yeah. So it was very impactful. After that, 9:20, at least for our groups, we had games, so they would do some type of a game. 9:50, they would have a Bible lesson. So once again, like I don't want to. I'll just say this part now. This was so important. I told you there was 86 kids in total, and they told us about 60 of them were not regular church attenders, right? So these are young kids in Japan, not regular church attenders, which means for those 60, it was very likely it was their first time ever hearing the gospel or the name of Jesus, right? So these Bible lessons that we're doing, and we're talking about turning water into wine. We're talking about Jesus walking on water. We're talking about his death, burial, and resurrection and stuff.
Talking about the lunches and like the fish and loaves
The
being
fish
like
and loaves
divided several
miracle,
times.
right? This is their first time hearing about this. And I'll go on a tangent just for a second here, but like, there was this one little boy, right, who was a little more active than the other children. Would run around when we're supposed to be sitting. He would even like hit sometimes. Like he was doing a lot.
No,
Cute,
okay, I remember
cute
what
little
you're
guy,
talking
right?
We love him.
Right.
We love him.
Right.
Not naming him.
What was he, about 6?
I don't know.
I think so.
He was about 6.
Yeah.
And so he was a little disruptive, but our man Jordan,
Yes.
he said that Jordan was one of the guys on the trip with us. He was wearing a cross necklace and a cross bracelet, and he said that this kid went up to him and like pointed at them and was like, Jesus. And he was like, yeah, Jesus. And it's like, oh, so this is sinking in. Like even though you were like
Literally bouncing off the walls.
low-key, yeah,
Yes.
bouncing off the walls,
Yes.
so like he was getting it, right? And then the thing that stood out probably more than anything else to me, right? I began by saying like impact. On Wednesday, Pastor David, who was given the Bible stories, he asked the kids, he was like, who remembers what we talked about on Monday? And these kids were explaining in detail what we talked about on Monday. Like, oh, we talked about Jesus, he was with his disciples and the people that were listening to them, like they ran out of food, so Jesus took these fish and these loaves and he multiplied them, made sure everybody ate. I was like, how is this sticking so easily?
That's like
right?
just day one.
And literally what I've been saying is like, as adults, we go to church on Sunday, and someone on Monday says, "Hey, what did they talk about in church yesterday?" And we're like, give me a second. Was that yesterday?
Computing.
What did we talk about? I don't
I
know.
don't remember what happens week to week. Okay.
And these kids, like, several days earlier, they remember. It's sticking with them. They care. They're actually like hearing about this God for the first time, and they're like, man, this guy's the real deal. Like, it was really sticking. So that's why I say it was impactful, because for those 60 kids, they were hearing the gospel for the first time, and it was landing, and it was staying with them, and it was affecting them, and it mattered to them. And that is probably the biggest, like, highlight of the trip for me, is knowing that happened. I'm like, this time was well spent. This was a success. This is worth giving up a couple of weeks, having to fundraise some money, getting on the plane, having a messed up sleep schedule for a little while. It is all worth it if that is the case. So,
I would almost make you ask the question, like, if any one of you could know that the words you could speak to somebody overseas would lead to them and their salvation, would you slave over your job, suffering, not using your PTO so you can take that 2-week vacation, raising the money or funding it yourself, just to know that you could
Yeah.
change the life of one person?
Yeah. Or like a whole family. Like the
The verse.
verse. Unfortunately, I do not have it memorized. But
How could you not?
I know
It said it every
because
day.
I was doing
I've got it.
preschool craft, so I kept
There you
like
go.
having to leave.
This is your moment.
Yes, yes. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
I don't remember it.
No, I got it. I got it. I can do it. I can do
What
it.
you say? All
Go
right.
ahead. Go ahead.
Acts 16:31. They replied, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, then you and everyone living in your house will be saved."
Amen.
I got messed up because I forgot that they replied part.
Yes, yes.
I didn't
yes.
realize what they
Oh,
were
no.
doing.
I
And
be
they
in that
replied,
book.
yes.
So this is the verse
So-
that they all had to memorize
Yes.
throughout the week.
And like the very goal was that these little kids we had the expectation that seeds would be planted and that hopefully their whole household would be saved. And like I don't want to jump the gun.
I was gonna say we're gonna talk about it too. We're gonna talk about it.
But like, it was like this trip was so intentional. Like
It
they
was.
literally just thought
So
through-
smart.
like genius,
So
genius.
smart,
They knew what they were
brilliant.
doing, and
Brilliant, bro.
and just like I don't want to veer off, but like these two were like leaders for their groups. I didn't lead a group, but I was with preschool crafts, so I more so just got to play like with them and make sure they did their craft correctly and all the things. So I was just kind of like in and out, and I just saw the same preschoolers. But I think for me, I didn't really get to hear much about the Bible part or the impact initially. I kind of heard about that in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really refreshing to see these little preschoolers have like insane amounts of attention and insane amount of like attention to detail. Like if you showed them something, they would almost try to do it the exact same way. And I think the Lord taught me is that how we are able to like reflect Jesus, like they want to be exactly like us, therefore like they can try to be exactly like Jesus too. And just I also got to like see how their parents just care a lot about their children, which was really refreshing. There was one preschool mom. Her daughter was always in these amazing dresses. She had her cute little hat and her cute little glasses.
Was
Oh
it the
my
girl
word!
with the neon socks?
Yes, I think so.
That was the only detail that stood
Oh,
out to me.
she was
Not
precious. But like she always had on these really pretty dresses. And it was like the last day, her mom was like recording the entire like dance session, and she was recording other parts of like the camp. And it was just like these parents were really wanting their kids to like experience this over and over and over
Yeah.
again, which don't want to jump the gun.
When we get to that part, I'm gonna throw it
But,
to you.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, so, and it was like this for like an entire week. Like it was just so much fun. And like these kids would like tell their neighbors and their neighbors would come, or like kids from school, or like
Yeah, forgot about that part.
or even siblings that
it would be different every day.
every day.
Like maybe one kid was there Monday through Wednesday. One kid first time showing up was Thursday, and like there would be overlap. It wasn't completely consistent with who was showing up, but like everyone that showed up was affected, even if they were only there for one day.
And I
Yeah,
think
that metric of the 86 kids,
Yeah.
to be clear, to be entirely transparent about it, is 86 total kids who showed up at all for any amount of time,
Right.
effectively. So whether they actually only came for one day or all 5 days and everything in between.
Right. But they at least had the opportunity to be exposed
yeah.
to Jesus once because we were giving a Bible story every single day.
I think most of the kids were
Were
there
there,
the majority of the time. Like I think just about everyone that was in my group was there for
Yeah.
the whole duration.
Yeah.
And then I caught stragglers.
I will say on Friday for all the preschoolers, we actually gained like we were like floating between like 6 and like I don't want to say 7, but anyway, we were floating between those two numbers, and like by Friday we gained like 12. So it was like crazy. By Friday we would gain all these preschoolers. We were making bags. We were like, where are these preschoolers coming from? But yeah, it's crazy. Like you would think by the end of the week we get less, but we actually
They
get
love
more.
that. They love that 6-7 over there.
And oh yes they
I-
do. Yes they do.
I was trying to avoid it, but
I know. You like almost don't want
genuinely-
to say
They
it.
would have gone crazy.
Can I
over there.
can I get into that for a second? Because I want to turn it into an anecdotal story. So like in my group, I mostly had like quiet and sort of contemplative, like what would you say, like I don't know, elementary school kids.
Yeah.
And I was grateful for that because I was deeply concerned about the idea of being a team lead because I got bullied into it in peer pressure.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't because I'm much better at just stoically leading children to the next thing and making sure they don't die rather than actually having to engage with them in games and activities. That would have been bad, so I'm glad I did it. But in the midst of my group, there was two like 12-year-old boys, and they were extraordinarily refreshing because they were very familiar in that the brain rot is real no matter where you go.
Refreshing.
One of the kids was a Japanese kid who spoke English, and the other kid was like a Mongolian kid who didn't speak Japanese and always spoke English. And getting to talk with them was kind of fun because like I deal with my church's youth group on a weekly basis, and when I signed up for this, I low-key thought that was going to be the age range I was dealing with. And then I show up and it's elementary school kids, and I'm like, oh, I'm unprepared for this. But having the two of them there was actually kind of nice as like a grounding myself in their brain rot because I'm like, oh, this is familiar. This is the only time I'll ever be happy to hear someone who's 6'7" or talk about Call of Duty Mobile. Excellent. Thank you.
Oh God.
That also brings up the pretty obvious thing that I forgot to mention was a lot of these kids only speak Japanese, but a lot of them also speak English.
Yeah, there was a surprising amount that spoke English, and I was
Yeah.
like, I think you guys are a little bit too advanced for this.
Yeah.
They speak better English than I do. But there was also a couple translators available too, so like we would bridge the gaps as best as we could. Like whenever the Bible stories were being read, it would be Pastor David would say it in English, then Pastor Matt would say it in Japanese. So like everybody's getting it no matter what.
Uno required no translation.
You said, huh?
Uno required no translation.
No,
Oh, yeah, that
we were
was
pros.
sick
We were
of Uno.
pros. We were
I'm
pros
so sick.
At the end of that,
Never a fan.
You know?
I'm probably never gonna play again.
I'm good.
I want to finish out the day real quick.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
So after the Bible story, because that is where I left off, it was at 10:50, then at or 9:50. At 10:20 there would be a snack. At 10:40 they would like make a craft, because the whole camp was like space themed, so they would make like these cool like paintings of outer space or like little cup rocket ships and stuff.
Some of them were actually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
11:10 was the English lesson, so they would learn a little bit of English. Then 11:40, we would go back to the sanctuary, do the Bible verse, and then like just chill until aftercare began.
Aftercare.
And aftercare was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
The beginning of the day with all the things we've described would fly by in 2 seconds.
that was all the easy part.
Yes.
That was
yes.
nothing.
The camp
It
was like flawless.
mindless.
It was aftercare, right? Because what I'm detailing is from like 8 a.m. to noon.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing, but aftercare is like noon to like 6-ish.
Yeah. 6.
Right?
It started off at 5.
It's
but then
really
it's
just whenever the parents come to get their kids, right? So, and there's no there's, like this itinerary, the schedule we have here. There wasn't that for aftercare. Aftercare was you're just gonna hang out with the kids till their parents get here. It's 6 hours. We had to get so creative.
we worked 2 shifts
all right,
a
was
day.
not
we played Uno 30 times. Like we maybe got to do something different now. like, and we had to keep kind of just thinking of things to like.
It's like
just
90
use the
degrees
time.
outside.
I remember on the Wednesday during the week, like we had a really long conversation, and I was up, I swear, until like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
I was like the only person who actually like went to bed at a normal human being hour besides the old people because I'm an old people.
Yeah.
And that Thursday, that aftercare lasted eons. I was checked out 30 minutes in. I saw Uno one more time. I don't want to remember that Thursday. That was I looked at my journal. My Thursday journal is 3 sentences.
Yeah.
There was nothing to say.
Like, all right.
Nothing happened.
It'd be like that. It's
Wonderful.
it's not nothing. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean,
It's definitely not.
and another thing that the team was intentional about was we had to make sure we were having like devotional time, like one-on-one time with the Lord in the morning. So we're waking up early, like 5, 6, like we're waking up early to have that time with the Lord, eat breakfast, get started. We're doing all of this. Then aftercare is until 6 p.m. Then like we're just having our
Trying to
our
debrief as a group.
yeah,
Trying.
we're just like kind of lifing after that, like debriefing, the 7-Eleven runs we were making to get like
Yes.
snacks and stuff, eating dinner and stuff. And then like Noah mentioned, like a lot of us we were having like jam sessions, like
sessions,
worshiping in the sanctuary at night,
immaculate.
which was absolutely wonderful. We can talk more about that later. But and then we would just have like long, deep
Long-
conversations and
Yeah,
stuff. So like
until like 3 in the
so
morning.
sometimes you're going to sleep at 3 a.m., you're getting up at 6, and it's just like day after day after day. So, I mean,
God-given adrenaline.
yeah. I mean, but like once again, you have the option to go to sleep. Like Noah was getting that sleep.
He
right?
was.
But yeah, it's
I
like,
was getting up at 4 in the morning and I was like ready to do jumping jacks and everyone else was like,
yeah, no. So it's not the easiest thing, but navigate it as you see fit for sure. But it was all worth it though. Like those conversations is like, this is the moment to have that conversation. Or like the kids that were getting reached, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, give it your all while you're here, because like in a couple of days you're not gonna be here anymore. So it was like,
Yeah.
we're not sleeping that much, but it's like I'm about to go home. Like
Yeah.
it's important for me to have this conversation with a friend right now, or this conversation with the kids right now, or whatever the case is. So
Yeah.
so we made it happen. We made it work. Running off nothing but grace. And grace and
Literally.
2 hours of sleep.
Literally.
Oh yeah, and to your point also, it was it got up to like over 100 degrees certain
Yeah.
days and
Ugh.
stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like once again what
just the way we like it.
it just the way we like it.
Just the way
In
we
getting
like it.
creative and trying to do other things, like one thing was like we'd take the kids outside to play basketball. It was like after like 10 minutes, it was like, all right, it's hot. I'm going back inside.
Going
And like we
back
had to
inside.
bring them back in and like make sure they got water and stuff because it was like
They get like
Legit
insane
dangerously hot.
sunburn.
so yeah. We were just constantly like just navigating little things. How do we stay awake and keep them engaged and stuff for this 6-hour aftercare?
Kids were playing in girls' hair.
Oh, yeah.
There was just like nonstop movies, or the movies would be going, and you're about your
Yeah.
Got to watch Sonic the Hedgehog in Japanese. That was kind of
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
No, it was
I
tough.
was like basically drawing for the entire like 6 hours, and like kids would just come up, check it out, leave, come back. Oh, it looks different. Oh, it looks different every time they
Yeah.
come back.
But no, I do want to mention what you just said though about Kirsten. She was sitting there. These kids were playing like
Yes.
braiding her hair.
Yes.
I think that was in one of the photos. Keep talking about
Yeah,
Yes.
she was one of the girls on our team. These kids are like braiding her hair
Braiding
for
her
like the
hair.
entire 6 hours.
Yes.
It's like she allowed her hair to get yanked on for all that time just for the kids to have something
Yes.
to do.
Could have
It's like
never done that myself.
it's like sacrifice, man.
Then,
Like,
then they did
so
the same for
commendable.
Abby too. It was just like, wow,
Yeah.
guys.
It's
wow.
like sacrifices are going to have to be made. Like I'm sure
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was uncomfortable. You got it?
just
No, yeah, like
literally
6
10
of them. like just
Every day.
in every direction.
every day,
day.
in every direction,
Every day.
and like the hairstyles would cook.
No,
Like
they were fire. I'm not
they
gonna
were so good. It's like, oh wow, y'all did that. Okay.
Or like the kids would like hang from my arms or
Yes.
Johnny's arms
Yes.
and like
Ping pong, endless ping pong,
Endless
and it'd be
ping pong.
ping pong without the paddles, so they're just throwing the balls. Like, okay, guys.
yeah.
I luckily should have had the album open like at all times so I could have it.
I didn't know you had them on deck.
On deck.
Oh, Noah. No,
It's
sorry.
my fault.
It's fine.
But no, yeah, running around. Like a couple of them were hitting and kicking at times, and like we had to handle that. It was like,
The two 12-year-olds.
and the 6-year-old,
All of them.
Yeah.
especially. A couple of the kids weren't potty trained, so there was a couple
That-
times you look on the ground and like, where did this puddle come from? And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's where that puddle
Yeah.
came from.
Surely it's water.
Yeah. I'm just sure. Man, Ian one time was like, man, can you grab like some napkins? I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh,
He
did something
grabbed
get
some
spilled? I'll get it.
napkins.
And he was like, yeah, one of the kids wasn't potty trained. I'm like, why are you letting me start before telling me what it is? I'm like, wait.
Strategic.
I'm like, dog.
You knew you would be like,
No, I finished though. I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. It's all good. It's just how we like it, right? That's our mission's motto. If you haven't caught on to it, like no matter what's going on, it's just how we like it, right? food doesn't taste how we want it to, oh, this is just how we like it.
Food literally gets forgotten and doesn't come out to the table.
Just how we like it, right? We had to. Most of us slept on mattresses on the ground. Just how we like it.
That's how we like it.
Right.
Fighting the enormous spiders. Oh my word. The amount of like banging and
It was kind of
oh
sick,
my
not gonna
word.
lie.
I mean, the spiders were great. It wasn't my problem. It was a lot of the other
Wasn't
girls'
my
problems, but Johnny was smacking them up apparently.
Yeah.
Just like taking the webs down. Also, these webs are like
No,
this
these
big.
like we
and,
say spiders,
will go
and
across
they're like,
buildings.
oh, spiders. No, these
like,
spiders are like hands.
And literally,
Not daddy
like,
long legs, they
spider
were
webs would go
yoked.
from one building to another.
They were Peter Parker. Like,
Yeah, basically.
Just how we like it.
But
Just
it's
how
just
we
how we
like
like
it.
it, right?
Just how we like
Yeah,
it.
very cool.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah, just to I want to throw it to you just to hammer home that point, because obviously, like we said, this is a Monday through Friday thing, but they were very strategic in how they incorporated the following Sunday. So
Yeah.
Julia, go ahead, tell them how they did that.
Basically, like how I mentioned, we like prayed before every event. We prayed for the camp every single day. We prayed for good weather. We prayed for just the Lord's sovereignty and just His will to be done. And so this Sunday, we completely tear down the entire space theme, like from the top of the building to the floors, like mopped up everything, swept everything, threw everything. The trash is not normal there, so you have to
yes.
organize all your trash, put things where they need to go, completely move all of the seats in the sanctuary, sweep the floor, mop the floor, put the stuff
Let's
on
talk
the
about the trash
walls.
real quick.
Yeah.
So just what she's saying about the trash. So Japan is obviously smaller than like the United States, it's an island, right? So they don't have as much room for just all these landfills and stuff. So like they have 5 different trash categories. Like it's not just garbage and
There's
recycling.
actually more than those, but those are just
Yeah.
That's the 5 we were
It's
using.
the 5 we
You
were
got mad
using.
categories. So it's like you drink a bottle of something. After you're done, you rinse the bottle out. You take the cap and the wrapper. You put it in one bag. You put the actual
Plastic.
bottle. You
In
put
another.
it in another
For
one.
the pet bottles,
Yeah,
Pet
pet
bottles,
bottles.
PET,
Things that are burnable, you put in this one.
Yeah.
Then like
non-burnable and
Non-burnable,
non-burnable.
another
Yeah.
one.
And so like by the end of the week, we've got like
Aluminum cans.
a whole like the garage full of
Yes.
like these different trash bags.
Yes.
Got to make sure they all go to the right place and stuff.
Yeah, and then
But-
if there's a specific kind of trash, you have to take that straight to the dumpster, and then like they organize it and whatever.
And you know what? Because I want to say this. One of the things that stood out to me while we were being given our sort of how to not offend the Japanese sort of sermon was out of all the things that we were told could be offensive, the one thing we were told that was like irreparably offensive was not sorting your trash.
Yeah.
Like, as it was, correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be misremembering this, that basically, like, within your community, like, everyone essentially has their own turn that they take everyone else's stuff to the location that it's supposed to go. And if it's not sorted, it's on that person to sort it.
Right.
So it is a terrible cultural faux pas if you have pissed off your neighbors because you didn't sort out your plastics.
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
like, that's the problem?
And remember
Right.
what we said about shame too. So it's like it's a big deal. Like,
Right.
To
Right.
me, I'm sitting here like, whatever. But
Right.
like to them, they're like,
I have
I've
to
done
go
a
through your
horrible thing.
trash.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
But all that to say, we were cleaning up.
Yeah, and it's like these big, huge pieces of aluminum, and it's like big and like lights done in a certain kind of way, stuff on the ceiling, and you name it. Like we were like, it was like we were building, but like destroying at the same time. We were putting like kids' artworks on the walls and like putting like participation certificates on the walls. Like we were really trying to like prepare with like the mindset like all of these families were going to show up.
Yeah.
Um,
So, for just clarity purposes, throughout the week at the camp, they told the kids, make sure you come to church on Sunday. We're going to give you guys certificates to show you completed camp, and we're going to show off the artwork you made throughout the week. So that's what she's talking about. We like put up all their artwork and stuff. So it was like come on Sunday
Mhm.
with your families,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have all this fun and whatnot, right? And so,
And the bouncy house. I
And
feel
the
like a
bouncy
lot of
Bouncy
them came
house
for the bouncy house
and
account
the
why.
bouncy
Yeah.
house.
But the Japanese love ceremonies too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what those
They
certificates
love
were.
a
It was,
good-
in fact, a sheet of paper.
yeah,
They were there
That's-
for it.
That's what it was. But it's a ceremony.
yeah,
So you have to go.
Big deal.
Yeah. And so we like prayed the entire church up, basically praying over every seat, which I love that. Like, if that's gonna like encourage me to pray over like my church community, like I'm gonna be praying over some for some seats now. Like, to think about the individual people that are going to be there, like that. I feel like that's how the Lord thinks of us, like as individual people, and that was really like inspiring to me. And so worship practices were always so good. Like, just the whole thing. It was great. Just and the thing didn't even happen yet. And so by the time like people were actually walking in, we're like standing, and me and some of the girls are like standing outside, and we're greeting the people coming in, and it was like I would get so excited to see some of the kids again, and like I knew them by name, and then like you would see their parents with them, and like they would get excited, so like they would like high five, and like they would like hug some of the leaders as they were walking in, and it was just like so much love before they even got to see like the sermon. It was so much love even before the sermon. It was so much love even before the kid got their piece of paper. Like, there was just so much intention to each individual family that like, okay, Lord, this is how you think of us. Like, this is how you view your church. And yeah, what was it, like 200
212.
212 families end up showing up, which is like what, like a quarter of that actually show up on like an average Sunday, or is it like half of that?
I can't remember. I think it was like specifically that there was 212 in attendance on that Sunday. But I don't remember if they gave the immediate metric of how much that compares to normal. But it was
To
more.
normal. But it was
Yeah.
definitely more,
right.
Objectively, it was
Because
a lot more.
I couldn't even see the lesson that was being taught.
Yeah.
I was in the back of the balcony. Also, there's a balcony, and
I
like
left.
there's oh.
I went across the street and watched service on the TV because there was
Mhm.
nowhere.
There's
there was
nowhere to sit.
I
which
kinda
is a
wish I
great
would've done
problem to have.
Yeah.
It was air conditioned too.
Yeah. Where I was sitting, I could basically see this much of the like screen, but like we were like showing people in where to sit and whatnot. But it was just amazing. It was like there was like dances that you could do while they were worshiping. And it was just like I've never felt so much joy that like people were just there,
Yeah.
and like you could just feel it
And
in
then
the entire.
after worship, but before the actual message, like there was a dedicated time for everyone to get up, walk around,
Yeah.
shake people's hands,
Yeah.
introduce yourself, say hello. After service, there was a meal provided. Like we all ate together. We were there for hours, just fellowshipping and being in community together, in such an amazing way. And a lot of the parents loved like the effects for their kids from the camp, and were saying, do you guys do more stuff like this? Like, how can we get involved here and da da da? And they were like, yeah, we have stuff for kids every single Sunday. And like, you could see like parents having interest in coming back, and like, so you could see the wheels were turning, and we were like, okay, what God has done what He wanted to do
Yeah.
through this, and it goes back to the verse: believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, and you and everyone living in your house will be saved. Hopefully, families will start attending the church based on what happened that week, and they will come to salvation. That would be the hope. No, you were going to say? I thought you were about to say something.
I was just listening.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much,
Oh, immaculate.
yeah,
It's so good.
so good.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was definitely a lot of other things that like
Yeah.
I learned and was shown, but I think the core of it was that I've been like resisting the urge to talk about that Japanese guy that we talked to in the Buddhist temple.
Wait. Oh.
Oh.
Just because like that was probably like the weirdest thing.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of side quests stuff.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like I was like on a side quest like the entire time basically. The actual thing was like
Side
the
quest.
actual
was like-
thing was the side.
the actual thing was the side quest. I'm just like I'm in this other lane here. That's cool.
That's funny.
Hope this video has blessed you in your faith today. We'd love to worship together. We say we're better together. Calvary Assembly gathers 10:30 Sunday morning. If you're watching online, listening, we'd love for you to join us. Every Sunday morning, we love to worship the Lord. I want to just remind you, if you're blessed today, to like, to share, to subscribe, and remember, every day is a great day to consider Jesus.